Zelda Tears of the Kingdom ending music is insane. In this video, we're gonna break it down.
Hey, listen!
Obviously there are spoilers. But it's been like a year and a half, so in a moment we're gonna kind of hear this draconified dragon motif. And we just got a little hint of it on organ. And organ sort of equals Ganon. This sort of equals dragon. Beautiful what they did there with the music. So fast chromatic moving lines. Cliffhanger. The timpani. We get a lot of that for Ganon. So we get the official beautiful. And I love the instrumentation choice of Erhu here because that also represents dragon. So they're really starting to show what they use musically to represent this whole scene. Mixing in the original dragon theme from Breath of the Wild. Ganon's theme in perfect fifths. But not just that, but in the low bass we get this. The 6-note descending theme that we get for Ganon. That was pretty well hidden and very fitting. Something like that. Beautiful mixing of the main theme. Gorgeous Erhu. The main theme. Okay, and then the official battle music. This is so good, I don't even want to stop it. So what's beautiful about this is a second ago they played in brass in perfect fifths Ganon's theme. And now here it's almost like the response. They play Zelda's Lullaby in brass and fifths. So sort of like Ganon can produce a dragon, so can Zelda. Almost a little hint at Zelda's Lullaby or the dragon theme. Gorgeous main theme on Erhu, very fitting. Wow, that's nice. So they're playing. And then they play. Gorgeous. Just playing around with those 3 or 4 chords. Wow. So if you want to know what they're doing here, they're really just playing in D minor. So D minor chord, And that's just up and down a D minor scale. Okay, then in the left hand, they start on what sounds like it might be D minor, but then they move to B flat major 7, which, fun fact, is D minor plus a B flat in the bass. It's literally the same note. So it's like 3 notes on one of them and 4 notes on the other, and they overlap, right? So take D minor, add B flat. Also, what's cool is the note in the melody creates a major 7 chord. Very Zelda-like. Then we move down, the 5 chord in D minor, A minor 7. These are all 7 chords. The 4 chord. By the way, it sounds like it might actually do this. Which would be extremely Zelda-like. But instead, we get back up, which kind of allows us to just do that on repeat, so we can kind of loop around those 4 chords while we continue to play the melody. Then we get a weird... Now, what are those 2 notes doing against each other? Well, we get that in Breath of the Wild main theme as well. They do that contrast a lot, where they'll take a flat 6 chord and add a raised or natural 6 on top of it. The first time I heard the Breath of the Wild music, I'd never seen the trailer. I was in college, and I heard it, and I was like, that's weird. Like, they've kind of gone a strange direction with the music. And that was one of the main things that made me feel a little bit like, huh. And now I've come to really enjoy that. I think that's a great choice musically. So let's keep going. Of course, the piano line's going into a pentatonic fourths. Love it. Gorgeous playing. Wow. So if you didn't catch it, the Erhu is playing the Breath of the Wild main theme. Right? Okay, and then what is it, tenor sax or something, playing the main theme of Tears of the Kingdom. So listen again. Well, okay, let's rewind it. Yeah, so B section of Tears of the Kingdom. Oh, wait a second. Oh my gosh, how did I not ever notice that before? Are you kidding me? The B section of Tears of the Kingdom is the same line as the main theme of Breath of the Wild. Which I pointed out, I believe is a slight nod to Zelda's Lullaby. Then we get and then unbelievable. So they play in the Erhu. Which is Breath of the Wild main theme, and then the tenor sax plays. Wow, I wonder if that, I bet it's intentional. It's just a little bit of overlapping and connecting the two. That is so cool. Wow, I always find cool stuff, man, when I film it. Jeez. strong brass coming in, strings. Okay, this is B section of Ganon's theme. Nice. Made their way back to the same key. Main theme of Tears of the Kingdom on Erhu again. Okay, that part repeats. So yeah, here comes a key change. So it moved up a half step. Not exactly an easy key. E flat major. Or D sharp major. Jeez. I don't want to think in C flat. So that's the issue with chords and scales. So this enharmonically could be E flat or D sharp. They're the same sound, same number of vibrations per second. They're just theoretically different notes, right? Whether it's depending on the context. So if we think of this in E flat or E flat minor, which sounds like it's got a lot of flats, then we have to think of this as C flat major, which no one would ever think of. So that kind of forces us to think in D sharp minor, but D sharp is kind of like F sharp major, which has 6 sharps, plus there's a D sharp, a C double sharp. Oh my gosh, what a nightmare key. I mean, it sounds good, but to play it on sheet music, I would not want to read that. Or play it. So getting kind of the fifths in brass kind of creates this like strong stability sort of thing. The ding. Da 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 da. That was very cool. Huh, okay, so fascinating. So instead of this, which is the beginning of Tears of the Kingdom main theme, we get beginning of the main theme, Tears of the Kingdom. I'm just taking from Breath of the Wild, by the way. This is very cool because this is kind of what they play every time you beat an enemy and you're about to get the heart piece. But with the dragon theme on top of it. Maybe a little hint of the da 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 da. Fourth pentatonic line that has to do with flying as well as skydiving. Oh my gosh. Wow, okay, wow, okay, so that's the root of the chord that we're hearing, but then we get That's a sharp 11, which is a beautiful... We hear that in a lot of places. But this... That's 7 and 9. So we're getting all these chord extensions everywhere. So then if the regular chord was B, then we get a major 7, a 9, and a sharp 11, just in the melody notes. So it's really like the strings are playing the most emotional notes that are adding the most color. It's very high. Strings tend to be emotional anyway, so it's kind of like they are really laying it on thick here. Still Dorian mode. Fascinating harmony there. Wow. It's the same key as I was mentioning it before. Wow, okay, so hold on. So remember I played that earlier and said it's a lot like what we get in other places? Well, now it's literally in the same key, and this time we get... Now they don't quite finish everything, so they don't play it out right. But my point is that they literally play the B section of Zelda's Lullaby over those chords in the same key. So very, very similar. They're kind of keeping the same material, the same harmonic fabric, but now it's Zelda's Lullaby instead of main theme. So beautiful. The amount of detail that they put into this music is insane. It's the stuff that we don't really notice. I don't even notice it until I really dig into it. But when you listen to it, it just fits. It makes sense. I have a theory for that bell sound. A lot of layers here. Beautiful. B section as well as Lullaby again. Wow. Lots of chord extensions. Wow. Yeah, that's... So, this is literally every chord extension you could have without going back to the original. And then we get... So, kind of those notes on top of each other. Again, lots of like subtle harmonic dissonance. Very interesting. Fascinating. Here it is. Main theme, Tears of the Kingdom, classic. Good way to close it out. Snare drum often is like the final war fight sort of thing. Lots of cymbal crashes, trumpets and strings. Key change, Zelda's lullaby, clapping, echoing. Da, 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 da. That was a nice counter melody. Nice. So we move from main theme Zelda's lullaby to original overworld theme, which is like Link saving the day, right? Oof. Very Dorian mode, right? It's a B flat minor chord followed by an E flat major chord with B flat still in the bass. Right, I play that example all the time. The clapping is fascinating because there's a theme of hands throughout the game. So there's Link's hand, Raru's hand. There's the hand symbol on all of the shrines. There's the almost catch and fall in the beginning of the game, and then ending with the actual catch. So hands are very interesting, and I think maybe there's a little bit more to it. But I read an interview talking about that. It was fascinating. And then the echo for me is kind of like the depths, the caverns, like when you go in and you clap inside of a big area, it goes tsh, tsh, tsh. And we get that in a lot of themes throughout the game. So very cool, the themes they've decided to kind of repeat and make motifs in different themes. And it's interesting which themes use them, because you'll hear the same ones in the same situations. So beautiful. Zelda awakes. She's like, did it work? A lot of 4 major chords in Dorian or minor. Okay, nice. A lot of 9s, a 13 in there. Bum. So that's the note here. So I say 13 because it's 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13. So that's I would say I'm an advanced musician when it comes to listening and hearing chords and understanding. There are still chords that baffle me that I go, oof, let me take a second to try to figure out what that is. But that probably came from guitar. I don't have my guitar with me, but you play some of those chords on guitar and it makes it a little bit easier to kind of get accustomed to. But yeah, I've played 13 chords and kind of know what they sound like now. I want to get my guitar. Hold on a second. Okay, let's see here. So for example, it's not tuned, but right. I could also play major, right? Like this. This is so there's a common you know, an example of that, Super Mario Sunshine, the opening. So it's a 2. 9. What key are we in? D. So we get... Anyway, guitar is the main way that I learned chords. My other instrument is the way I learned scales, saxophone, through band and just practicing. But chords I really learned alongside in high school when I started playing guitar. So highly recommend guitar for chords, highly recommend piano for pretty much everything else, including chords. So piano is like the ultimate instrument. It's the reason why I play it, even though it's probably my third best instrument. And then guitar is an amazing complementary instrument to learn chords and really understand music better. Let's keep going. That was a long tangent. Okay. Da, da, da. Same chord progression as the original. Gorgeous. Is this the only place where they include the full version of Zelda's Lullaby in Tears of the Kingdom? I wonder. I love that chord change. Wow. Key change, I should say. B section, Tears of the Kingdom, and Zelda's Lullaby on top of each other, which are the same notes, by the way. This is one of the reasons I believe it was intentional. Nice. Wow. Subverting our expectations. They build it. They use the hero's overworld theme. Then they pause. And they let it down a little bit. Right? Controlling our energy and mood. That is such a beautiful ending. That's so gorgeous. Man. Oh, with... There's so much I could say on that. One of the most beautiful musical moments in the entire game. Main theme in the original key. Oh, there's a 13 chord. Right, so 13 is really 6, right? So 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13. So, listen again. Which is very nice because that ends up being a lot of that type of sort of crunchy, emotional chords. Beautiful. Who would have known that we were listening to the staff credits when we got the trailer that showed Link skydiving downwards? Beautiful. So this music plays a lot when you see Link running and jumping off and skydiving. My first video ever was on this theme, by the way, Pentatonics. That's a beautiful theme. We'll keep moving because after that they play all 4 champion themes and then the main theme, and it's kind of a different category. We can do that another time. I know a lot of you guys would watch that, but I want this video to be an hour and a half long. Funny enough, that sounds an awful lot like the intro to Lurelin Village. If you listen to Lurelin Village, it's got the same sort of sixths playing in major, kind of descending, and then it opens and goes brum brum bum brum. Right? Total coincidence. It wasn't referencing Lurelin, but it just goes to show you there's a lot of overlapping music, right? You come across things accidentally that sound the same. Still pretty funny. In a second, we get the famous Sheik's theme quote, which I find very interesting. That sounded a lot like... It wasn't quite, but... the opening to Ocarina of Time. Is it still Zelda? Okay. Right? It's everywhere. 100% intentional, by the way. We hear that somewhere else in the soundtrack, but I don't remember exactly where. It might be Tulin's theme. Okay, not the exact same notes, but the same motif. Actually, same motif as the beginning of Breath of the Wild main theme. Wow. Or however it goes, and then... Beautiful. Wow. And then he jumps off and... whoom. It's his paraglider. You guys remember that scene? Wow. Right? Beautiful. How cool. It's kind of like the sentimental Breath of the Wild closure sort of theme. Oh, that's a beautiful chord. Sus chord, that one's complicated. By the way, same key as they just played Zelda a second ago, if you weren't sure if it was intentional. Excuse me. Breath of the Wild main theme. Of course. The classic Zelda theme. They don't use it a whole lot in the soundtrack, so it's nice when they use it towards the ending. Nice. Continued into the... Reharmonize that a little bit into a 2-5-1. Same thing they do in Kasa's theme, by the way. Secondary dominant. That's how I learned what a secondary dominant is, by the way. This motif is all over the place, and one of my patrons, Soren, used it in one of his compositions. I'll see if I can plug that real quick. That was pretty cool. Wow, main theme, Tears of the Kingdom. Gorgeous chord progression there. Da 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 da. Is that a 5-theme quote? So that chord would be in like B flat major when you're playing, you know, things like this, and then you want a fascinating. That note doesn't actually belong in that chord, which is where that tension comes in. Listen again. French horn playing this, high strings playing this. Beautiful. Nice little resolution of Tears of the Kingdom main theme motif. Nine, or sus2. Well, it's not a sus because it has the third. Hold on. So what I was listening for was to see if so that's in the Shrine theme, it's in Temple of Time, it's in a couple other places, but it actually sounds a little bit like Sheik's theme too. Interesting. It's really just pentatonic, so it probably, none of those are probably related, but it's interesting, and I'm definitely making a note of it. Oboe solo. Zelda's Lullaby again. They've been quoting it this whole time, so if you weren't sure about that first one, it's been repeated 4 or 5 times now. What instrument is that? resolved from a flat 2 down. Oh. Wow, that's not where I expected them to land. I thought they were going to land on C. They land on C sharp. Wow. Fascinating thing here that I'll bring up another time. Or those are the 3 notes we got when Breath of the Wild first opened. So we finished the trailer and it was kind of like, or the main theme, and it was like, ba-da-dum. Like they built up, and then it was just a, here you go. All of nature, everything is open to you. Wherever you want to go first, it's total open air, open world. Good luck. Have fun. And it's like, oh my gosh. Like the hype was real. And it was so exciting and such a good game. And that's how Breath of the Wild opened. And now this is how the sequel to Breath of the Wild closes. So for me, that was a very nice sort of chef's kiss, tying a bow on it and finishing this final piece of the music. So love stuff like that. I think that's so cool. Main theme opens up the entire world of Breath of the Wild, and they basically are telling us we just closed the world of Breath of the Wild. Like we're moving on now. Very sentimental. It's like last day of school senior year. You're like sort of crying. You're not sure if you're like excited or sad or what, but beautiful. Wow. Well, that was amazing. Sorry the video's so long, guys. I wanted to take some time and really go through the music. I know this deserves a little bit more attention. There's a lot more I could have said. I tried to keep it moving. Let me know what you guys want to see in the comments. That's it for today's video, guys. Thank you to my patrons. And as always, Zelda Music Theory, out.